In this video, we'll discuss the reason you may still be fat after intermittent fasting. Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Zarowski and welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and join our notification community so that way I can help you excel your health and your life. In this video, you're going to discover why you're still fat after doing intermittent fasting. You know, I recommend to patients all the time to do intermittent fasting. They all come back seeing great results, but there's always that group. There's the group that comes back and says, Dr. Zarowski, I'm not losing any fat. I'm not having any weight loss. I don't feel any better. This intermittent fasting stuff is not for me. So that's when we sit down and we have the talk. Now the talk basically is where we go and we dive into all the different focus points where people go wrong with intermittent fasting, why they don't get results, why they're still fat, why they won't lose weight, why the weight won't budge. So if you're having this issue or you're someone who just wants to get better results with intermittent fasting, let's go ahead right now and have that talk. So let's focus in on diet first. Okay, this is where I see a lot of people go wrong because a lot of people use intermittent fasting as a crutch to follow a low quality diet. Now, when you follow intermittent fasting and follow a low quality diet, in many cases, you're going to create metabolic instability and you're driving these hormones all crazy. You're going into this fast where you're driving insulin levels low, but then you're spiking them with high sugar, high carb meals. It's not a good thing to do. So intermittent fasting, is not a crutch. A lot of people think, well, I can do intermittent fasting because I'm, going into that fat burning zone and I can eat what I want over here. It just doesn't work like that. And so you want to make sure that you're following a good quality diet. I always recommend the low carb diet. This is a diet where you're eating 100 grams or less of carbohydrates. You're eating a lot of good whole foods. You're doing no sugar. You're doing no grains, and you're eating good, delicious, satiating meals that make you feel good. Now, when we have people who are doing low carb and they're still not getting results and they're being honest about doing low carb and not getting results, we go and look at different things, okay? Or, some of these other things popping up, which we'll talk about in a moment, or maybe they have some metabolic instability. In that case, what we'll do is we'll go into keto, do 30, 60, 90 days of keto, come back out, do low carb, and in the meantime, we'll see some great results, okay? So diet is very important. Double down on diet if you're not getting results. Next, calories in, calories out, too little, too much. So this is a problem that people have. Now, it's always interesting because if you look at the gym community, like the fitness trainers are always talking about calories in, calories out, that's all that matters. And then you look over to the other side of the spectrum, you see the doctors and they're saying, well, it's not so much about calories in, calories out, it's about what you're eating, the quality of foods that you're eating. And I'm kind of right in between there because what I see happen with intermittent fasting is a couple things. First of all, people are eating a high quality diet, but they're eating too much of a high quality diet. It doesn't matter how long you intermittent fast. If you are over consuming calories, then you just aren't going to lose weight. Now, the other problem that's going to happen is that some people, because they're doing intermittent fasting and they are packing all their meals into a short period of time, they're not eating enough. So if you're doing intermittent fasting and then you're coming way under into a calorie deficit, the problem is that you're going to crash your metabolism. These people typically see, fast results right away, but then after that they plateau and they just can't get things to budge in either direction. So you don't want to be over consuming in if you're coming in at a huge calorie surplus, you can still do intermittent fasting and gain weight. A lot of people do this simply because they're in that fasted window, they're so hungry. When the meal time comes around, they just stuff their face for the first meal, between meals, and even for the second meal. So we want to be right in the middle. What I recommend is that we go and we track our macros for 30, 60, 90 days, and we really truly understand what we're eating. We're understanding the calorie intake that we have on a daily basis because, like I said, if you're doing intermittent fasting, and you are either under consuming or over consuming, you're going to create metabolic problems. You can't come in at that huge caloric surplus and expect to lose weight. And if you're going way under, you're going to crash your metabolism. So track your macros for a period of time. You can easily get some different app calculators that are going to help you do so, and track your calories for a bit, and you're going to see great results if that is the issue that you're having. Next is metabolic instability. So there's a lot of things that come into play when it comes to the metabolic hormones, metabolism, how it functions. We look at these three major metabolic hormone players: insulin, leptin, and ghrelin. Now, insulin is this hormone basically that's going to shuttle sugar into the cell. If you have like pre-diabetes, if you have diabetes, you have insulin resistance, essentially you're going to have a harder time getting results with intermittent fasting. The results may just not come as quick. Now, the other problem that you can have is leptin resistance or ghrelin resistance. Now, leptin is basically the food suppressant. So when you go and you are eating your meal, leptin goes and tells your brain, hey, you're full, stop eating. People who have leptin resistance, they don't hear that signal. They don't hear that leptin signal, and they just keep eating. So it's very easy for them to overeat and overconsume every single day. Now, the people who have ghrelin resistance, this is the food initiator. This is the hormone that basically says, hey, I'm hungry, and we need to start eating because I'm really, really hungry. Some people, they're just getting overstimulated in that area. So, you can see what's happening here. First of all, you're not properly shuttling sugar into the cell. You're going and not being told by this hormone leptin to stop eating. This hormone ghrelin just keeps, being a gremlin and telling you to eat constantly. And this just causes a lot of issues. So once again, we're doing intermittent fasting. We're going to go back, double down on the diet. This is very important here. We're also going to go in and do a couple other things. First of all, we can go in and make sure we're doing something like the keto diet, which is really going to help create that metabolic stability, which I talked about over here. But also what we can do is we can add some nutritional supplementation that not only helps balance insulin, but also just creates metabolic hormone stability across the board. I'll put a link to the one that I use. So if we have this metabolic instability, first of all, we have to realize that intermittent fasting may take longer for us to get results. We can go in and do a diet overlook. We double down on the diet, potentially follow the ketogenic diet for a while. And then lastly, we add some different nutritional herbs and vitamins in order to help balance metabolic hormones. And so that's what we do here. Next, breaking your fast. Okay, so this is very important because a lot of people need to do a reset. It's very, very compelling to go and find all these little things that you can do while fasting that won't break your fast. I get probably questions like, will X, Y, and Z break my fast more than any other questions out there? So a lot of people are trying to get creamer in their coffee. They're trying to get stevia and xylitol in their coffee. They're trying to, add in like all types of different drinks and potions and powders. And what happens is you can just create this whole issue where you're just basically breaking your fast every single day. If you're not getting results with intermittent fasting, take a step back. Get rid of all that stuff, okay? Get rid of the apple cider vinegar drink, get rid of the supplements, get rid of the powders, get rid of all that stuff. Take a step back and go to water and things like black tea or black coffee, and then that's it. That's it when you're doing your fasting. And that way you can be sure that you are truly fasted during that time, because it's very, like I said, compelling to try to add in all these little sneaky things that won't break your fast. But if you have metabolic instability and you have some other issues, it's hard to say what's going to knock you out of that fasted state. Just like somebody who is pre-diabetic or diabetic is going to have a much different reaction to eating some simple carbohydrates than someone who is metabolically healthy. So we want to make sure that if you're having a problem where you think you may be breaking your fast, get rid of everything and just go strictly to something like water, sparkling water, coffee, black tea, and stick in that area. And by the way, if you want a full guide to intermittent fasting, a complete guide that teaches you everything, go ahead and click on this video right up here, because this is a video I did that teaches you everything you need to know A to Z about intermittent fasting. Last year is time. How long should it take? Now, one of the things I get all the time is, Dr. Zarowski, I've been doing intermittent fasting for like a whole 2 weeks and I haven't gotten any results yet. So this clearly doesn't work. Okay. So there's so many things wrong with that statement. First of all, you may just be one of these metabolically unhealthy people. Maybe your diet's messed up. There's so many things that you have to be aware of in this time. But the other thing is that when you're looking at these people who are seeing huge results, right? They didn't do it in 1 or 2 weeks. People who are having massive weight loss transformations, people who are getting lean and ripped, then in most cases, this has taken them months to years in order to get these results. So, a lot of times even myself, we want to get results so fast. We want them right now. We want them here in the moment. But the problem is that's not reality. And so we have to realize that when we look at intermittent fasting, it's a strategy in order to help us improve our overall state of well-being, lose fat, lose weight, get healthier. And it's a time game. It's something we're implementing in, and we have to give it the time. And if we can just stick to it over a long period of time, we're going to constantly get healthier and healthier. So be sure to give it the time that is necessary in order to lose the weight, in order to get those results. And so that wraps this video up. Go ahead and just share this video with your friends if you could, because it's going to really help everybody who's having a hard time saying that intermittent fasting doesn't work. It's going to help them kind of reset their intermittent fasting and get great results. So if you could share it with your friends and give this video a thumbs up, and also let me know the results that you're having with intermittent fasting in the comment section below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Check out my other videos on how you can improve your health. I'll see you in the next video.